Hey Internet, SP here for the Marduk Report, and today we're looking at another keyboard from TeamWolf. This time it's the Void Ray, and this is a 104 key, full mechanical, full RGB keyboard. So jumping right into review, taking a look at the keyboard, you notice it comes with a lot of the same things that the Suzuki keyboard came with before in terms of included accessories. So obviously you get the keyboard, and you get 4 extra switches so you can test out, see if you like blacks, browns, blues, or reds. One of them is going to be a spare switch since your keyboard's got to come with something, right? But notice from this package, and if you compare it to the last package of the Suzuki, they were missing the keycap puller and the switch puller in this box, and I don't know why. I'm pretty sure it wasn't intentional. I'm pretty sure that somebody just forgot to put it in when they were packing this. But you should get a switch puller and a keycap puller. So design-wise, the Void Ray is minimal, just like the Suzuki keyboard, but it's not as minimal. It's not, the lines aren't as clean. There are some gamery bits, especially on the top side where the USB cord connects to the keyboard, 2 large kind of white diamond shapes that do light up. So if you want a super clean, non-gamery keyboard, you know, this might not be it. Again, with just like the Suzuki keyboard, we've got an entire top plate that is all aluminum, and it comes in 2 colors, gold and silver. And again, we went with gold because if you're going to have 1 gold keyboard, you might as well have 2 gold keyboards, matching sets. Unlike the Suzuki keyboard, the Void Ray though is not a full aluminum casing. It is only the top plate that is aluminum. The rest of it is all actually plastic, which is unfortunate because you figured if they had the budget or the wherewithal to do a full aluminum casing on a smaller keyboard, why not do a full aluminum casing on the larger keyboard too? It'd have been nice. And of course, just like any other keyboard, that you're going to need to connect it somehow to your computer. And this is, again, a 2-meter USB 2.0 cable. And this time it's at least fabric braided, and the part that connects to the actual keyboard seems a little heftier, a little stronger, a little more tolerant of abuse than the Suzuki keyboard, which is nice so that it doesn't break, it doesn't feel like it'll break as easy, but at the same time this is a bigger keyboard, so do we really need a stronger connection for a keyboard that's bigger that you're probably not going to travel with? Who knows, but I like it. I'm glad that it's there. So getting into the features of the keyboard, the Void Ray has, just like the Suzuki, removable key switches. So once you pull the keycaps up, you can just pull out the switch and replace it with whatever color you want. Again, like I said, they come in blue, black, red, and brown. And this Void Ray that we have is a blue, has blue switches in it because blues are really, really the best. The keycaps here only come in white, top printed, very standard, generic, but are removable and replaceable with anything that will fit anything that will fit a cherry stem. So in terms of other features that are built into the Void Ray, you get end key rollover, an adjustable polling rate for the keys, which starts at 5 milliseconds and goes to 10 milliseconds, 20, and the default of 40 milliseconds. Multimedia keys, which really just control volume up and down plus mute. And there are user-defined macros. So the macros here are really interesting because they're not fully baked. They're not macros that you would expect if you were saying you picked up a Cooler Master, a Razer, a Rocket keyboard. The macros that you can program into the Void Ray, you can program a string of up to 64 keys. There are 4 different macros you can put in, but, and here's the kicker, the macros themselves cannot have key combinations. So you can't do something even simple like Control S for save. If you try to record that, what it will record is you hitting the control button, you hitting the S button, but not those 2 buttons being held down at the same time. It only does one key after another. So this, if you have a string of commands, or say you just want to have like your name so you can fill out forms very quickly, that's what these macros are really good for, not for doing complicated combinations of key presses. If you notice though that there is no wrist rest, so typing might be a little weird for if you're not used to not having a wrist rest. But there is an option for when you purchase this keyboard to get a wrist rest an optional wrist rest, but the wrist rest is really for gaming because it only goes under your left wrist for the WAS keys. It's separate and detachable. There are 2 screws on the underside of the keyboard that you unscrew, take those out, place in the wrist rest, screw them back, put the screws back in, and then you have an actual attached wrist rest. But like I said, it's only for your left hand, so you're probably not going to use it for typing. This is really just for gaming. I think the wrist rest is okay. Like, I like the concept of a removable wrist rest, or one for if you play a lot of FPS, a lot of third-person adventure, a lot of games that just use the WAS keys and your mouse, like classic PC gaming. Yeah, the wrist rest is nice. But outside of that, I wouldn't use this as a daily wrist rest if I had to do a lot of typing, only because it only sits under one hand, so it would create a very lopsided typing feel. So taking a look at the backlighting for the Void Ray, this is the real showstopper outside of the design of the keyboard. The lighting scheme comes in 9 different backlight colors. So it's 8 individual colors plus 1, the full RGB gamut. So each key has every color underneath it at the same time. So you can do one of any color along with the RGB, and the window key, the caps lock key, and the num lock key are actually controlled separately from the rest of the keyboard. So if you notice in these clips where the Windows key is always lit, that's because that lighting is completely separate from the rest of the keyboard. Continuing with the lights, not only is there 9 pre-programmed animations, I guess we'll call them, for the RGB backlighting, but not only can you control which one you're on, but you can also control the lighting intensity of each one, the animation speed of each one, and the animation direction of each one. And each animation can be done in all of the colors individually or the full rainbow at the same time. There are a lot of options for lighting in this keyboard. What there isn't, though, is a on-screen GUI for your computer. So if you want to program this to have a very specific set of lighting colors, you're going to have to do it on the keyboard and looking at the keyboard, because there's nothing that comes up on screen. There's no on-screen GUI. There's no software for it whatsoever, which is good and bad. It's good because you don't have to worry about software updates or anything like that, because everything will be saved onto the keyboard. It's bad because the only notification that you get from the keyboard of when you've either hit the highest, the brightest, or the fastest animation, or the lowest, dimmest, and slowest animation is that the num lock, caps lock, and window key flash 3 times. That's all you get as in terms of a notification from the keyboard. So aside from the pre-programmed lighting animations, there's also 4 more animations that you can program in yourself. So I found that I didn't need them, but if there's a very specific lighting pattern that you want, feel free to have at it. So I've mentioned how this keyboard and the other Suzaku keyboard both have removable switches, but I haven't actually talked about the switches that you can buy separately if you want to change out any of the keys. Instead of buying just one switch at a time, because that would be dumb, the switches come in packs of 15 in any color, so black, brown, blue, red, and they're about 15 Singapore dollars, so like $12 a pack. And it's all one color, except for there's one pack where you can get 9 black keys and 6 red. They're all single color packs for the switches, except for one, which is 9 black switches and 6 red switches, which is nice. So if you want to kind of mix it up and have, say, your WAS keys partially in all black, and then the rest of your keyboard in all reds, except for maybe the number pad, which you want in browns, and your function keys in blues for, I don't know, why not, really? Not why, but why not? Because if you can, and it's not going to hurt anyone, sure, let's go for it. So I bought 2 packs of the brown switches just so that I'm very much used to brown, so when I picked up both of these keyboards, I wasn't sure if I wanted full blues or not. I thought it might be too loud, because they are loud. They are very loud. If you've ever seen any movie which has hacking in it, this is where they got that sound effect. They are loud. So final thoughts. Would I choose this keyboard over the Suzuki keyboard that we had looked at previously? Yes. I like the 10 keyless design of that, but I would trade that in for this RGB backlighting. I really like this backlighting a lot more. And this backlighting can just do so much more. Not only, like I said, not only can you control the speed and which the speed in which color, but being able to choose the direction of animations, I think that's cool. I really, really like that. The price difference isn't too much more. This keyboard, I think, ends up coming in at $100, 100 Sing. So that would be like $75, 60, 75 bucks, US dollars. So it's not bad. Like, it's rather inexpensive comparatively speaking to other keyboards like Black Widow, like the Razer Black Widow, and other like Rocket, Rios MK Pro, full-RGB. So yeah, I would give this a rating of purchase. And if you're trying to decide between this and the Suzuki, ask yourself if you're going to be taking the keyboard with you on the road a lot. Because if you're not, put up the money for the Void Ray. But if you are, I'd say get the Suzuki. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and if you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know why. Because I'm not going to get better unless I get feedback. So until next time, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.